Main Assembly hates bikes. There are a few people who have taken their shot at making a bike, but none of them are very good, unless it's someone who's made one but never put it on the workshop. From what I can find, they all have flaws. I did make another bike in the past, but it has a pretty bad steering system, so I came up with this, which is super simple in comparison. So, can I make a good bike? Well, you'll have to watch and find out. I'm starting off a little bit ahead because not much has happened up to this point. But anyways, here's the measurement frame I made for it. This is mostly based off of the GSX-R 600. This isn't much of anything yet, but this is a baseline for the rest of the bike. It has the wheelbase and some key measurements. I added suspension to the back and it was a bit floppy, but even at its stiffest level it's not good enough. It's difficult to go forwards because 1, the back wheel hits the frame, and 2, the front wheel hits the frame. Neither of them want to spin. Even trying to fix that doesn't work. So instead of fixing it, I moved on to the next thing. I ended up having to fix the suspension problem anyways, but to do that I just got rid of the spring. I haven't programmed it to work properly yet, but that leaves us with a cool feature. Now I've created the entire outline for the bike. Then we jump 30 minutes forward and this is what has happened. This is the beginning of the gas tank and this frame piece. I put the suspension back in, but it still doesn't really work. It still does this, so I made it so I can steer the front wheel. I added a few more springs to make it stiffer, and it works a little better. Then I started working on the seat. Having a seat doesn't make it drive any better. So I tried making the front wheel well. With the front wheel well, the tire isn't able to spin when you're turning. In a straight line it works fine, so in a straight line I went. Then I made the rear fender, which looks a little skinny. I made that wider along with filling in most of the back end. Then I made the rear whatchamadoohickey. After that I started making the aesthetic engine. I painted the side frame thing black and took it for a test drive. Now I was a little disappointed with how that crash went, so I fixed the problem, did a wheelie, and crashed it again. Much better. Then ooh, fancy colors. But they don't keep it from tipping. Then I made the whatchamadoohickey thicker, and it's not even centered, so I just ignored that and made a first-person camera. I did a little work on the engine, and it was smashing into the spring, so I made it not do that. I did a little more work, then made it not do that again, and here's the engine. And here's the front wheel getting stuck. And I colored the engine and filled in the top section. Now fake engines need fake exhaust pipes, so I made one. I made some handlebars which don't do much, because you don't have hands in this game. I also made the windshield clear. Here I changed the materials of different parts. This is pretty much how it's gonna look shape-wise, so here's the comparison. Now it's time for the lights. Here's the headlight and the tail lights. They even work in the dark. Next I tried making those mirror things with signal lights. The first try doesn't look so good. Then I tried using only the signal lights, which is a little better. You can just pretend that there's mirrors there. I moved them a little, and this is a little better. Then I got this, which is good enough for my standards. With all the lights in place, it's time to program them. These are the brake lights, and now they're a little dimmer. Then I made it so you can turn the headlight on and off, and it's a nice color. Then the signal lights. It's a bit hard to tell if it's signaling right or left, but that doesn't matter. It's a fast bike. For some reason I just went and crashed it into a wall. Interesting. This is me programming the balancing and steering. And it works pretty good. It does have a problem with speed wobbles. Speed wobbles can be dangerous. I tried fixing this by leaning the front forks back to increase the caster angle, and this sorta works. I also tried adding a lot of weight to the top to try to force it to turn more. With less weight and leaning programmed in, it works fairly well. It sure can lean. There were a bit too many obstacles, so I moved over to a flatland to try to fix the speed wobble problem. I went back to my idea of leaning the front forks back again to see if I can improve from that. It still wobbles, but it's not quite as aggressive. I even tried using a skinnier rear wheel, but that just makes it worse. As you can see, I was very productive in fixing the wobbling problem. Back on track, I made the rear suspension solid, and it has potential. But as they all say, if your bike doesn't balance, see how fast it can go. When I leaned the front forks back, I had to get rid of the handlebars, but they're back now. Wanting something a little more unique, I painted the bike purple and yellow. Then I added a safety feature. This keeps you above 25 miles per hour, which is about as slow as you can go without tipping when you turn. They also added trim, which allows you to make really small steering adjustments. Back to trying to make it stable, I tried a few things. I made some big rudders and tried working with the weight distribution. I finally tried adding weight to the front wheel, which is the solution to all my problems. With the weights on it, it doesn't go quite as fast, but it can still crash pretty good. The purple and yellow colors weren't quite what I wanted, so here are the variations I went through. I was having troubles with this, but the next day I remembered that this game has decals. Now that it's all painted, I hope you enjoyed, and here's the final product.